So we are back for another video. 3 videos in 3 days is basically unheard of for this channel, but as the transfer window is back in full swing now and we got a lot of transfer rumours flying around the league at the moment, today what I thought I'd bring to you guys is one player from each championship club who I think they need to do absolutely everything to keep hold of during this summer transfer window. So the player I've decided to pick for each club is someone who I think could be in quite high demand and there will be quite a bit of interest from some other teams, but if they want to have a successful upcoming season, they need to keep hold of these key players. So let me know in the comments down below who's one player from your club who you think you need to keep hold of during this summer transfer window. But without further ado, we'll hop into the list. We'll go through the championship in alphabetical order, and I'm interested to see what you guys have to say about some of these shouts. Barnsley, Kiefer Moore. Being promoted back up to the championship, it's going to be important that Barnsley have a prolific striker going forward. When they were relegated, they scored 48 goals that season. Back in League One, they almost doubled that tally. And with a target man like Kiefer Moore going forward, he offers so much to this Barnsley side. He scored 19 goals last season, averaged a goal every 134 minutes, and there is said to be interest from Bristol City. In my eyes, Barnsley need to do absolutely everything they can to keep hold of this player if they want to have a good season next time. Birmingham, Che Adams. Of course, this one's a bit of an obvious pick, but after scoring 22 goals last season and picking up 4 assists, it's going to be crucial that Birmingham tries to do everything they can to keep hold of this player. There's no doubt going to be loads of interest in Adams over the summer, and if the right offer did came in, they probably will be forced to sell. But it is worth noting that this was his first proper breakthrough year in the championship, getting into double figures. His best goal scoring season before this year had come back in 2016/17 when he got 7 goals. So this is the first time that he's really propelled himself to being a prolific striker in the championship, and it may be the case that he's wanting to give Birmingham another year in the championship, see what happens next season, and then wait for his move after that. Blackburn Rovers, Bradley Dack. Replacing a player with Dack's quality is always going to be a big ask. After scoring 15 goals and picking up 7 assists in his first season in the championship, Bradley Dack is going to attract a lot of interest over the summer, and there's probably going to be a few Premier League clubs sniffing after him. The problem Blackburn would face if they did go on to sell is that their system sort of revolved around Dack for this first year. He sort of played as a second striker in behind Danny Graham, and in a lot of Blackburn's best performances throughout the season, Dack was at the middle of them. It's a similar situation to Che Adams at Birmingham. If the right offer did come in, they probably would be forced to sell and then reinvest the money into other areas of the squad. But unless the offer did come in, I think the Blackburn will be doing everything they can to keep hold of this player. Brentford, Neil Maupay. This one was a bit of a toss-up between Maupay and Ben Rama. I think it'll be interesting both those players over the summer, but Brentford, 20 goal a season strikers are very hard to come by in the championship, and if you want to invest in a proven one, it's going to take, around about £15 million. So Brentford are going to do everything they can to keep hold of him. He scored 25 goals and got 8 assists last season. Just an annoying player to come up against, really. I think that's the best way I can describe him. But I think Brentford have a bit of a gem with Neil Maupay because he perfectly fits into the way that they play football. Bristol City, Josh Brownhill. The way that Brownhill's been able to develop his game over the past few years has been absolutely staggering to see ever since he did leave Preston. With Bristol City playing a lot of the season with a 2-man midfield, I think those 2 central midfielders are absolutely crucial for their system, and despite Brownhill only being 23 years old, he's already been able to establish himself as one of the key components of this City side. There was a bit of interest from some Premier League clubs back in January. I think that could come around again in this transfer window, but after the year he's just had with Bristol City, I think they'll want to do everything they can to keep hold of him. Cardiff City, Bobby Reid. I think most Cardiff fans will agree that last season in the Premier League, Bobby Reid never really got given his chance. A lot of his appearances came off the bench. Even when he would start a game, he was normally hooked after about 60 or so minutes, but he did go on to score 5 goals, and despite his lack of game time, he looked like one of Cardiff's more prominent players going forward for that season. Last time he was in the championship, he managed to score 21 goals in all competitions. I think that if you do build the system around Bobby Reid, he's someone who can be brilliant in the championship, and he's someone I'd like to see Cardiff keep hold of and build the team around next season. Charlton Athletic, Lyle Taylor. After joining from AFC Wimbledon, he had an absolutely unbelievable debut season with Charlton, which saw them getting promoted in the end, scoring 25 goals and getting 11 assists. After that record, there's no doubt going to be some clubs interested. He's never played in the championship, but I'm looking forward to seeing how he gets on this season with Charlton, and it goes without saying that they're going to be doing everything they can to keep hold of him this summer. Derby County, Jayden Bogle. Coming up with this player for Derby was a bit of a tricky one, but I think they should do everything they can to keep hold of Jayden Bogle. Still a very young player, only 18 years old. There has been Premier League interest, with Brighton said to be interested in the fullback. He scored 2 goals and picked up 9 assists for Derby last season. If Derby are going to sell him, it's got to be for a pretty massive price tag, considering how much Lloyd Kelly was sold for by Bristol City to Bournemouth a few weeks ago. Derby will be demanding quite a lot for Bogle, I'm in no doubt. Fulham, Alexander Mitrovic. If somehow Fulham do manage to keep hold of Mitrovic, it would be an absolute madness going into next season. The last time he was playing in the Championship for Fulham, he played 20 games and managed to score 12 goals for them. Even in the Premier League, after the disaster of the season that Fulham had, he still managed to get into double figures, scoring 11 goals. There's no doubt going to be a lot of interest in him during the summer, but if he was to stay at Fulham and have a full season back in the Championship, you're looking at, you know, plus 25 goals there. Huddersfield Town, Karlan Grant. After signing from Charlton in January, Grant went on to have a decent season for Huddersfield actually. In the 9 starts he got, he scored 4 goals in the Premier League. I think most people will accept that Huddersfield have a bit of a rebuilding job to do coming back down to the Championship now, and with potentially quite a few outgoings, Grant's someone who I'd like to see the squad being built around. Obviously I could have gone for a bit more of an obvious pick, someone like Aaron Moy or someone like that, but I'm pretty sure he'll be off in the summer. And Grant's someone who I'd like to see in the Championship, and I think that Huddersfield should do their best to keep hold of. Hull City, Jarrod Bowen. To be honest, I don't think that this one is too likely. I think it is probably going to be the case that Bowen will be leaving Hull in this summer. If he is still playing in the Championship next season, I would be absolutely astounded. At only 22 years old, he scored 22 goals for Hull last season. There's already been Premier League interest in the player. If they are to sell Bowen, then I want to see them keep hold of Grosicki. If Hull do lose both their key men out wide, that's really a big rebuilding job they're going to have to go through during the summer. Hull's main threat last season was their attacking outlets down both wings, and if they're going to lose both of them in this transfer window, I'm not sure how they'll fare next season. Leeds United, Kalvin Phillips. The Yorkshire Pirlo, as they call him. Leeds are going to have to do everything they can to keep hold of Phillips. There's already been a category of Premier League clubs looking around the player. And in terms of Bielsa's high-pressing system, Phillips is absolutely crucial to that. Playing in holding midfield, he was one of the best, if not the best, in the Championship last season for Leeds. He even did a job at centre-back when he needed to. But if Leeds do want to be challenging near the top of the league again, Kalvin Phillips is one player they're going to have to keep hold of. Luton Town, James Collins. A lot of people are probably going to be expecting Luton to have their backs against the wall going into this season already, but if they do manage to keep hold of James Collins, which I think they should do, it gives them a good chance going into next season. In League One, he scored 25 goals and got 3 assists. He averaged a goal every 150 minutes. He's going to be crucial to Luton if they are going to have any success next season. Middlesbrough, Darren Randolph. For me, Randolph is one of the best goalkeepers, if not the best goalkeeper in the Championship. Last season, he had the second best percentage save rate, and if they're looking to build the team back up under a new manager, Dan Randolph's one player who has to be there next season. Millwall, Jake Cooper. This guy is an absolute unit at the back, and there's definitely going to be a few clubs looking to purchase him in the summer. Millwall need to do everything they can to keep hold of him, though. He's a player who I'd like to see the squad being built around. He was involved in 12 goals last season despite being a centre-back. He's an absolute menace from set pieces, and if Millwall are looking to progress going into next season, they need to keep hold of their best players, and Cooper's certainly one of them. Nottingham Forest, Joe Lolly. Now, there has been a lot of speculation already surrounding Joe Lolly, with Aston Villa seemingly the club that's most interested in tempting him away from Nottingham Forest. He had an unbelievable season last time in the Championship for Forest though, and if they are serious about breaking into the top 6 and promotion next season, they need to be keeping hold of their best players, and Joe Lolly is certainly that. João Carvalho is another player who you could throw into that bracket, but it seems like Joe Lolly is the most in-demand player at the moment, and the question I'd ask the Forest fans is, if you did have to sell Joe Lolly, what transfer fee would you be looking for? Preston North End, Alan Brown. Last season, Alan Brown was involved in more goals for Preston than any other player despite being a midfielder. Our strikers weren't exactly the most clinical last season, so it was important that we had goals coming from midfield. I think the same is going to occur next season as well. Goals from midfield are always going to be crucial for us, but playing in that number 10 position, he's absolutely vital to the system we play. It's not just the goals he scores, but it's the work he does off the ball that's so important to a high-pressing football. After scoring 12 goals and picking up 5 assists, I'm in no doubt that there are going to be some teams looking around Alan Brown, but he's someone who I think we need to do absolutely everything to keep hold of during the summer. QPR, Luke Freeman. In my eyes, probably one of the most underrated playmakers in the Championship. Last season, he scored 7 goals and picked up 6 assists. He's the creative hub going forward for Queen's Park Rangers, and pretty much every transfer window we've had over the past few seasons, Luke Freeman has been linked with the move away from QPR. The QPR fans will be hoping that this won't be the year that he does eventually end up leaving, but he is a player who would slide into pretty much any Championship team quite effortlessly, really, with his technical ability on the ball, his vision off it, and his quality from set pieces. He's someone who QPR need to do everything they can to keep hold of. Reading, Yaku Mete. Mete's had a really funny career at Reading so far, but after scoring 12 goals last season, and obviously after Nelson Oliveira will be going back and returning to Norwich after his loan spells up, the goal scoring onus could fall on Mete's shoulders going into next season as well, and he came up with some pretty big goals for Reading throughout the season. Can be quite diverse, can play anywhere along the attacking line as well. I think he'd be missed if Reading were to lose him in the summer. Sheffield Wednesday, Kieran Westwood. This one's a bit of a no-brainer for me, really. If you look at both the defensive record and the overall results before Westwood came into the side last season and after he came into into the side. There was an absolutely huge upturn in results after Westwood was brought in as the number one once again. It's still a mystery to me why he was outcasted at the start of the season. Without doubt, one of the best goalkeepers in the league, and if he is given a full season back with Wednesday, I'm sure that that defensive record will stay very tight under Steve Bruce once again. So Westwood, definitely a player Wednesday need to be keeping. Stoke City, Peter Etebo. After the disaster of a season that Stoke had, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see quite a few sales going on at the club over the summer. But Peter Etebo is someone who I hope to see still in the Championship next season. I thought we saw glimpses of real quality from him, especially towards the end of the season. And if Stoke are looking to rebuild and reshape their midfield a little bit, Etebo is someone who I think can definitely be the player that they do build that around. They did spend quite a bit of money on him, but I think that if there are the right players in and around him, he can have a quality year for them next season. Swansea, Ollie McBurnie. At this moment in time, it looks more than likely that Swansea will be losing out on Daniel James over the summer. So for my eyes, it would be an absolutely devastating blow if they were to lose McBurnie as well. There already has been quite a bit of interest from a couple of Premier League clubs, and it's understandable to see why after scoring 22 goals in the Championship for Swansea. But 20 goal a season strikers are incredibly tough to come by, and if you are operating on the budget like Swansea have been, last season in the Championship, then it would be incredibly tough to replace a player of McBurnie's quality. West Brom, Jay Rodriguez. Last season, West Brom were a little bit spoiled, having not one but two 20 goal a season strikers in Jay Rodriguez and Dwight Gale. Dwight Gale's obviously left now, returning from his loan spell, and it's looking like they won't be going in for him and getting him back for next season. So to lose out on two 20 goal a season strikers would be pretty devastating going into next season. In my eyes, for that reason, they need to do absolutely everything they can to keep hold of Rodriguez. Last season, he scored 22 goals and picked up 6 assists for the Baggies, and if they lost him as well as Gale, that would leave a massive void in their team going forward. Wigan Athletic, Sam Morsy. There has said to be a bit of interest in him over the summer so far, with Sheffield Wednesday, one of the clubs, being linked, but I think he'd be a bit of a loss to Wigan if they were to sell him, actually. He made it into the top 10 for the most tackles in the Championship last season, and is a real scrapper in the middle of the park for Wigan. He's a popular player with the fans as well. I think they'd be fairly sad to see him go. But guys, there you have it. There is a player from every Championship club who I think they should be looking to keep hold of during this summer transfer window. Do you guys agree with my selections? Let me know down below. But apart from that, guys, that will not wrap it up for this video. So if you did go on to enjoy, make sure you do leave a like. It is always massively appreciated. As well as that, make sure you subscribe for some regular Championship content. Like I said, we are closing in on 19,000, so it really would mean a lot. But apart from that, thanks so much for watching. Make sure to check out all the other links in the description down below, and I'll see you all in the next one.